Good morning. This is what I look like when I wake up. It is a good morning because I woke up. And I want to talk about these connections to Celeste because I think I had wrote about it. I make so many videos. I write so much. I don't know what I say or what I post. So this is something I want to make sure that I get out there. After last night's incident where the neighbor from the apartment in the front mysteriously crossed paths with me as I was crossing the street at the next bus stop up because of the weird activity that had gone on the bus. I want to say that I know I mentioned the guy in the red Jeep that had pulled up with the perfect timing, and I want to say, should there be any videos that surface of that incident, that should be proof enough of the conspiracy, because I have been complaining this whole time about this one particular neighbor, and it would be so odd if mysteriously this video shows up where it portrays me as his stalker. That to me shows signs of coordination and collusion between individuals in Los Angeles trying to set me up and portray a narrative that's not true. So I go back and I think back to these neighbors who park in the red zone all day. They finally moved their car to like a regular parking spot. But they've been parking in the red zone for years without getting tickets. I don't know if they've gotten tickets, but obviously it's not enough to make them stop parking there, or until recently it wasn't enough. And I bring that up because every car I've ever had, it's been trouble parking by where I live. I normally will park like sometimes even miles away because of how hard it is to park by where I live. And previously I had gotten tickets for like not having my front license plate mounted when there's several other cars in the neighborhood that didn't have it. So then I didn't think that was much because every now and then I would see another car that got the same ticket. So I didn't feel like I was being unfairly harassed. There was a time, and I think this is related back to the New World Order, and I don't want to say like, oh, Trump knows who I am, but I have a feeling that this is of that level, and the people who are coordinating this, like I've had JD Vance look at my Instagram profile. So back a while ago, before Trump was president, or it may have been the last time that he was president, he came into town and they had posted signs that they were going to tow on a Saturday, right? Saturday's not till after 12:01. So my car was parked. I parked my car at like 7 p.m. It would have been ticketed regardless because I would have slept through until the next day to move it. But I parked my car at like 7 p.m. At 9 p.m., I think they had ticketed it. And right at midnight, they towed it. The reason I bring this up is because I remember I was really pissed off when I was walking to the tow yard and I noticed all of the other cars that had received tickets but weren't towed. There were cars that didn't get tickets. There were a lot of cars that got tickets, but I was one of the few cars that got towed. The tow and the ticket, it totaled like $400. Thinking back to this now, this is something I believe may be related to the gang stalkers. Parking enforcement is part of their network. Parking enforcement will go around and ticket target individuals as much as they can and as often as they can, while failing to ticket other drivers, especially those with that monster sticker on their car, when they park in the red zones or illegally. The reason I bring this up is because Celeste was found at the same tow yard that my car got towed to. I have been saying over and over again that I believe that there are connections between this network because of the pedophilia nature of Celeste's case. I have a feeling that the people in this network who have access to all of these cameras that include like people's child monitoring cameras and stuff, they are the same people who are harassing me. They are the people the cops are protecting. This is Hollywood elite. This is scandally scandal. I work my jobs over the last 10 years have been handed to me pretty much because of what they're trying to do to me. The strange things that are happening at my current temporary position, all the access and authorization that I've been given when it's not necessary, I don't think, that is concerning to me. That is concerning to me because these people are doing things that are outside of outside of the scope of what is normal. At the last place I was at, that's I don't know if it's a larger firm, might be a larger firm. I can't tell. As far as, I didn't know how much money that firm, I think that firm was bringing in more money, and they would never have given, like, there's checks and balances. That's the reason our government is set up the way that it is. You cannot give somebody both positions, AR and AP. Those things should not be combined, and there should always be a third person to control the balance. It's checks and balances. I should not have access to systems on both sides. That doesn't seem right to me, and I think that there's like laws and stuff against that. I know in my entire accounting career, I've only ever had access to one side at a time, and I've worked in all different kinds of accounting positions. So I just want to bring these things up because it feels like they are still doing this mental thing where they're trying to make me think I'm getting set up for some big crime. So I admit to all the stuff that I've done. I've admitted to everything I've done. My records, I've never even tried to steal them. My juvenile record is still around. It's public access. I don't know if people can even get back into it. You can search about me as much as you want. The stuff that you find. Oh, that was the other thing I want to say. All of the people who have been looking at my Facebook profile and the suggested people, whenever I click on one of these random looking people or the strange looking people, the people who I want to avoid, their profiles say digital creator, content creator, whatever. And the reason I bring this up is because this whole thing is a bunch of clout chasers. This is so similar to how paparazzi are. This is citizens on patrol who have access to a list of various tasks. It's like TaskRabbit for criminals. So they have access to a list of the stalker tasks, like the attacks, rapes, or whatever you want to call them. And then they get paid every time they complete them. And then one of the reasons why I think that I have been assigned this whole voice file thing is because I've stopped using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi allow them to follow you. Wi-Fi, once they have access to your Wi-Fi, they can start adding things to your search history. If they have access to your IP, they can get your passwords to all of your things. The gang stalkers have this thing called an electronic controller, EC or CE. I don't know which way they do it. But that is the person responsible for the hacking. So I don't know which person in my building is the EC, but I do know that there is one here because of the number of technical difficulties I've had. And that's why I have all of this, like the smart home stuff, is to try to catch them in the logs when the smart home starts acting up. So like the last thing I had noticed, and I posted a video on it, was my little cube thing that wasn't working. The new one I replaced and it's working fine so far. We'll see if that continues. But that was the last technical difficulty I had as far as like Wi-Fi stuff in my home. And one of the reasons they do that is because I am thinking that Wi-Fi, and that's what I've heard, at least as far as what I've seen on the internet, on YouTube, Wi-Fi is what they use to report your whereabouts, right? So that's how they collect their credit. But if you're not using Wi-Fi, if you're not using Bluetooth, and they cannot pick your name up on the signal, your identifier, I think that's where the voice file comes in. And that's when you will see, from the minute you leave your apartment, you'll be running into gang stalkers all day trying to get you to say like, thank you, excuse me, or they'll be really annoying about it. Those particular words, I mean, I don't know if it's different for everybody, but those are the words that they try to annoy me with. The common courtesies, they want me to appear like a bitch because they think that they've brainwashed those words out of my head. Motherfucker, thank you. Excuse me. What the fuck? So, go on ahead. Get your voice file, bitches. Good morning and have a great day. It's what is today? Thursday. We're past hump day. We're almost to the weekend. If you are a targeted individual and you're going through the same shit I'm going through daily and you feel like you want to give up, I want to remind you that they are doing this to you because you're powerful. They want you to give up, so don't give them what they want. Fight them every fucking minute of the way, but you have to fight them intelligently because everything that they do to you is a trap. They are stalking you, trying to make it's the destiny swap. They're trying to make you into the criminal that they are trying to not be. They are trying to put you into that sentence that was offered to them in return for stalking you. So if you want to be a criminal, retaliate. Even what I did last night is borderline psycho because I'm sitting there waiting, but I wasn't just waiting. I'm on my iPad. I decided I didn't want to go home at that time because I have been experiencing a tremendous amount of harassment from a person that I had just seen walk into the grocery store. So I wanted to make sure I knew where his whereabouts were before I continued to proceed to my home because this man has been harassing me for years.